Alright, you guys, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. I went ahead and looked at a old painting that I had done in a previous sketchbook, one that I completed actually right before starting this channel, and I went ahead and decided that I wanted to take another stab at it. And so the video that you're seeing here is actually going to be kind of like two parts because I got very busy this week. So you're going to see my sketches and my entire process from start to finish for this part of the spread. And then next week's video will be the painting that I'm going to complete on the right side of the spread that I just didn't get the chance to totally complete and do this particular week. So, if seeing me try to draw some otters in my style and trying to figure out how I would do that sounds like something you would enjoy, I'm Rory Fluent. Feel free to call me Rory. If you're new around here, hi, hello, how are you? Feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I like to create dope art content and hopefully curate a chill atmosphere. And if you're not new around here, what is up, my dudes? Let's get into this video. I normally like to keep my videos pretty chatty, and I'm going to do my best with this particular video. It's a little bit shorter than I've been doing. It's about 22 minutes, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to do my best to chat throughout the whole thing. I don't have a ton of time, but personally, they're my favorite kinds of art videos, so they're the videos that I want to make because it's the kind of content that I like to consume, and so I figured that's probably the kind of content that I would get the most enjoyment out of creating for other people. You can see in the video here that you guys are going to go ahead and get a glimpse of my sketching process, which I don't cover a ton anymore because sometimes my phone camera can be a little bit finicky, but for this particular video, it turned out great, which was super exciting. If you watched my last video, I mentioned while I was painting the anteaters that I had kind of wished I had been more experimental with the different ways that I was drawing the anteaters, looked at them from different angles and doing different things and just really got a good understanding of their body and their shapes and how I want to break up those shapes. And so that's what I'm doing here. Is I am trying to go ahead and look at tons of different references of otters and pick out a bunch of different looking ones so that I can kind of get a good feel for how to draw these otters in many different ways, because the painting on the other side of the sketchbook spread is going to be multiple otters interacting with each other, kind of like an otter pile, I think is what I'm going to call it. And so I really wanted to have a pretty good understanding of what's going on and what their bodies can like do. When it came to like the actual Pinterest references and things, I kind of just looked up like otter photos and started scrolling from there. And when I found one that I liked, I would click on it and then scroll from that photo that I clicked on to find other references, because Pinterest has a pretty good, like, I don't know what you would call it, like AI or like UX, where like when you click on the image, you can scroll underneath of it, and it's actually really good at finding images that are kind of similar. So if I wanted to look at a picture of a bunch of otters interacting with each other, if I typed in otters, found one where two were interacting, and clicked on it, I had a pretty high chance, or at least a higher chance, of finding another image with otters interacting with each other rather than just scrolling or clicking on a bunch of different ones. Like if I had clicked on an otter image that only had one otter, chances were I was just going to have a bunch of other otters swimming. But because I purposefully was selecting photos with X, Y, and Z, I would kind of get the references that I wanted and sort of like helped the app help me by kind of knowing how it works. And I've found that that's like the best method for me to find references on Pinterest. The other thing that I really like about Pinterest specifically is that I can look up both like images that people have, or like pictures that people have taken of like real life, let's say for this, for the purpose of this video, real life otters, but then I can also look at the different ways that other people choose to depict otters, whether it be through more like editorial photography or painting or sketchbook spread, you know, because Pinterest is full of all kinds of different creators. And I really love just kind of like typing in otters, or, you know, again, for the example of this spread, typing in otters and then seeing what pops up. And then, oh, I might find a sketchbook spread from somebody, and I'm not going to look at that sketchbook spread and like piece by piece just identically copy that spread, but I might like the pose that an otter is in, and so I might take that pose and then look at another image, a reference image of like a real life otter that a picture of someone that someone took, and I might you know, use those two to create and to understand what I'm trying to create when it comes to how I personally want to draw and depict otters. And that's how I go about anything that I'm drawing when it comes to Pinterest. I just prefer looking at all the media that is on the app, not just, oh, I just need, you know, a reference image of an otter, so I'm going to type in reference image of otters. I always kind of just type in the one concise subject and see what happens. You can see here currently in the video, I am kind of primarily using watercolor, a little bit of colored pencil, and I believe a little bit of Copic marker. And I decided to go ahead and experiment with like an orange, that pale yellow color that I'm just absolutely addicted to using all the time. In this case, it's titanium buff. I love titanium buff. You can't see it, I believe. Yeah, you can't see the pan in the video at the moment, but that pan is like maybe halfway done, and I got that particular color maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, so I've been really going through it, but I really love it. It's like everything that I wanted a Naples yellow to be, I guess. So I think it might be, as boring as it sounds, like probably my favorite color in the palette. I love titanium buff. So yeah, you can see I'm in the sketchbook at the moment, filling in all these little details. I'm pretty happy with what's going on. I went a little ham with the colored pencil. I don't really shade things with colored pencil anymore, so I was kind of just trying to experiment a little bit, get a better feel for how I wanted to use the colored pencil. I was really enjoying the like finer lines that I was able to get with the fur texture. That was a good decision, but I did not really like the colored pencil shading and the orange, which is called like goethite from Roman Small. That color was like appearing really, really bright and vibrant compared to the titanium buff, and it was like standing out in a way that I really didn't like, particularly on that otter underneath like the water study that I was doing. And so you'll see here that there starts to be a little bit of a shift. I don't know when in the video, and it's okay, like I don't totally restart or anything like that, but oh my god, off camera I end up going over that particular otter, the like largest one on the page closest to the left. I probably go over that otter like 4 or 5 times with gouache, and same thing with the orange one right next to it, because I just something wasn't right about what was going on. I didn't like the like circles on his tail and the like markings, and I don't know, it was like intricate but not in the right way, and so I end up going ahead and just trying my best to, when in doubt, I guess, use gouache and see what I could cover up and work with. But currently in the video, I don't even know that that's going to happen, and you'll see here I spent some time on this watercolor, oh my god, watercolor, this water study that I'm doing in the top corner where it's like an otter, but if it like was under the water and you had a camera like directly above it, looking at it like swimming under the water, and he's like laying on his back under the water, so he's belly up, and I had a lot of fun with that, and it ended up turning out like way better than I thought it would. I don't know, I found a photo on Pinterest and I was like, wow, that is really cool. I have no idea how the fuck to paint water like that. So I went ahead and I made a point of trying to learn how to do that by looking at a reference. I start to try to line or ink the otters that I'm like, okay, I think these guys are done, and I start to just try and finalize some things to see how I'm feeling. Sometimes inking is a really good way for me to decide whether or not I'm actually done with something, because normally when I ink it, if it doesn't go well, I know like whether or not it's I guess not whether or not like the inking went well, but particularly if I ink something and I'm like, I'm still not sure about this, I either understand better what I want to change, or I realize that I need to kind of restart a little bit, and kind of both happen here, so you guys will go ahead and get to see a pretty big part of that process. I ended up having so much fun painting the water over this little otter guy in the top left corner. I just really started to play with contrast, and I was just having a really nice time because I was getting a little stressed about everything, honestly, in this spread. But I do think it comes together, so at least there's that. The amount of Pinterest references that I was using was kind of insane, though. I mean, I was just kind of looking at Pinterest, looking at my drawings, and looking at the old painting that I had done of the otters in my old sketchbook spread, and looking at what I've created, and just trying to figure out what the hell I needed to do to get these otters to look the way that I wanted them to now. I was just so excited to kind of do a comparison between a then and now. So like, how did I draw otters when I was doing or completing a sketchbook that was nearly a year ago? And then how do I want to draw them now in this sketchbook? I feel like it's always a really fun exercise, and I'm super excited to start painting the actual painting that's on the right side of the spread and completing that, because I'm really, really happy with the way the sketch turned out, and I'm like, oh my god, okay, thank god I decided to complete this page before I went ahead and just full throttle did like all of these little sketches and the painting at the same time, because then I would have made the same fucking mistakes and I would have been so upset. So I am really, really fucking glad that I went ahead and went through the learning curve and the process with this part of the spread, so that way I could actually create a painting. It's been so long since I've created a painting that's traditional that I'm kind of excited about it, because most of what I tend to, like, I guess consider like a finished painting is from Procreate, and so it'll be kind of fun. I don't know. Well, now that I'm saying that out loud, I'm like, maybe I should take it into Procreate because that's what I prefer, but I do think traditionally I can do it. I'm gonna at least try it traditionally, and if all else fails, I will take a picture of it, put it into Procreate, and then start from scratch and film that process as well. But I'm hopeful that I will be able to pull it off traditionally. I would like to be competent enough in both traditional and digital art to be able to complete pieces both traditionally and digitally. You can kind of see here at this point in the sketchbook spread or the sketchbook page, I should say, that I am like 3 or 4 layers deep in gouache, really frustrated, just kind of trying to like figure out what I wanted to do. I was particularly happy with the otter in the bottom right corner. I thought that he turned out kind of cool. I liked the chunky brush strokes. And so I was kind of just trying to take what I did there and persevere and continue on here with the other 2 otters, because it started to just feel a little bit like there was no winning. There were too many layers of gouache. There was too much going on. And in the end, I'm happy with them. And I'm glad that I learned what I learned. I don't think they're like the best that they could be. I think I like all the other otters on the page better. But that's okay. Honestly, I feel like I might even do another spread of otters, like not immediately after this, but I think it will be something that I want to do, because I don't know, I feel like I fucked up these last 2, and I just think that I can do better. But yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think about the like chunky brush strokes, and I'm really happy with the otter in the middle of the page that has like the fish kind of like coming out of / around his head. I thought that was kind of cool. But you guys can kind of sit here and watch me struggle with gouache for a little bit, and I don't know, I guess let me know what you think about the way that these otters turned out, and the fur textures and the gouache, and I guess just this entire kind of sloppy process, because especially with these 2 bigger otters on the page, it was definitely a little bit like, but I kind of like the shading that I can get with the gouache, and there are things that I like about the gouache, and then specifically with the orange otter, there were things about the one that I painted with strictly watercolor that I preferred, but at the same time I kind of had to gouache over the entirety of him to make the like circles go away, because those like spots would have been really hard. I guess my point is that my least favorite part about gouache is that the white doesn't really dry white. So the lightest value in your watercolor is always lighter than the white when it dries, and it kind of annoys me. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. I'm using Winsor & Newton, like a giant tube of white gouache, and I never feel like it's exactly the white that I'm looking for. But you know, we continued on, we made it work, kind of, and in the end, I'm not, like, totally unhappy with the way that they turned out, so that's good, that's a win in my book. Just to close out the video, I wanted to go ahead and say, obviously, thank you to anyone that is still listening. I greatly appreciate the support of watching the video all the way through. I'm still trying to kind of hit my, watch time hours goal, because I have 1,000+ subscribers, which is amazing, and because of that, I now need to hit this other goal, I guess. I thought it was just 1,000 subscribers, but I need to also have like 4,000 watch hours within the last year to be able to start actually monetizing my videos. And so watching the video all the way through is a huge, awesome way to obviously help me rack up those watch hours, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. So with that, I will go ahead and say thank you so much for watching the whole video, and hopefully I'll get to talk to you in the next one. Bye!